Hello everyone, this is Gage from Gundorian Smith, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys yet another Third Age Reforged online multiplayer battle replay. Now this one was in fact a 2 versus 2 versus 2, a team free-for-all on the Mountain Pass map. And I actually am commanding one of the armies. I'm commanding one of the two armies of Eriador, and my ally is Dark Elven King commanding another army of Eriador. So definitely a faction that you don't see too often, and it's cool because it's an Eriador alliance versus some pretty unlikely allies in the likes of the Woodland Realms and Isengard and Arnor and Mordor. Before we get any further, I will go ahead and start with the army compositions, beginning with my own. So my troops were really blobbed up because they actually spawned up kind of like way up there on the mountains, so I only had a very small area to actually deploy in. But anyway, my army consists of one of 4 shell captains, a very elite two-handed unit that Eriador has to offer. It is where my general is. I also have 2 units of battle-ready Dunedain, which are pretty much the same, however they don't have hit points, and I believe they have more men in the unit, but less attack and defense values. I also have 2 units of gatekeepers, who are of course a very deadly crossbow unit, and 2 units of bandit javelins. I also have 1 unit of the black wolves, which you can see are hiding over here with their very large, almost stone looking great axes. I also have 1 unit of thieves of Tharbat. They're an okay unit. They believe they have 2 hit points. They're pretty fast, and they have somewhat decent attack and defensive values. I also have 2 units of 4 shell heavy spearmen and 2 units of 4 shell heavy swordsmen. Both of these are very cost effective. They're pretty good. The only downside that they have is pretty much just that you can only get 2 of them before the prices increase, which is rather unfortunate. I also have 2 units of Greenway Guards, who actually are AP, which is nice because they are just a spear unit. I've got a lot of spears actually, which is nice because at least a couple of them do have AP, which are the Greenway Guards. I also have 2 units of Carlin Royal Guard. They are a little bit better of a spearman unit, not effective against armor, but they do have some hit points, I believe. I also have 1 catapult right here, and I am pretty... Oh yeah, and then I have 1 unit of Carlin Footmen, which are a very cheap pikeman unit, but if you set them up correctly, they can hold their own. But they are, of course, very, very easily shot down because they are very lightly armored and, of course, have no shields because they are pikes. And that is pretty much, yeah, that pretty much concludes my army composition, except for I have 1 unit of a Dunedain bodyguards, which is down there, right there. And I'm gonna just tell you right now, they have a very, very bad day of it. Anyway, so the other army of Eriador, being commanded by Dark Elven King, is very similar to my own. He also has a 1 unit of 4 shell captains, I believe, up here. Yes, that is where his general is. He also has 2 units of Dunedain, battle-ready Dunedain. One of them is right here. 2 units of Carlin Footmen, 2 units of Carlin Royal Guard, 2 units of Greenway Guard, 2 units of 4 shell heavy swords, 2 units of 4 shell heavy spears, and I believe he also has, 1 Dunedain bodyguard, and I believe he has 2 units of 4 shell heavy archers. Just the archer variant of these gatekeepers. So they do have a little bit less actual missile damage, however, they do have a greater range and a higher rate of fire. So he also has these 2 units of gatekeepers, and let me see what else he has. He also has... I think he may have a unit of black wolves? I don't know. He also has this ballista right here, which this ballista gets a lot of kills to be sure in this battle. So that was very cool indeed. Anyway, we'll now go over to the army of Arnor being commanded by Arcturus. So he has 1 unit of a Dunedain bodyguard, which are up there on that hill. That is where his general is. He also has 2 units of Arnor Knights, pretty cheap mid-tier cavalry unit, but they're okay if supported. He also has 1 unit of dismounted Dunedain Knights, very similar to the dismounted Earls of Dale. 1 unit of battle-ready Dunedain, 4 units of Arthedain men-at-arms. Very much better than the Gondor infantry, but they are a bit more expensive. He also has 2 units of a Dunedain Wardens, just the spear and shield variant of the battle-ready Dunedain, pretty much. He also has 2 units of dismounted Arthedain swords, who are a very, very deadly shock infantry. They can definitely do work in melee. However, they are of course very susceptible to arrow fire. He also has 1 unit of Arnor Gate Guards, which is probably one of the best pikeman units in the game. They're looking very nice with their cool, stylish blue capes, and they are very, very hard to deal with, especially if you allow them to set up in a nice choke point. He also has 1 unit of Arnor Pikemen, 1 Trebuchet, and I believe he also has 1 unit of Troll Slayers that are hidden somewhere over here, as well as 2 units of Dunedain Rangers. Now his ally is commanding the army of Mordor, and his the player was, Stewed Fungus. So he is deployed in a pretty, almost like a column, I guess. He has 1 unit of Melkor's Chosen, not where his general is actually. A very ferocious heavy cavalry. They do not have lances. They are a melee cav, but they are still very, very deadly off the charge. He also has 1 unit of Mounted Temple Inquisitors, 1 unit of Morgul Chosen, and he also has, I believe, 2 units of Uruk Archers and 1 unit of Numenorean Shadow Guard Shadow Bows. So hidden somewhere over here. He also has 3 units of Orc Raiders. 1 is here, 2 are over there. 3 units of Mordor Mornot orcs. A very cost-effective unit. I believe they're like 700 florins, but they can definitely get the job done, especially because they do have 253 men in the unit. Also has 1 unit of Orc bodyguards, which is where his general is. You can see the Nazgul himself right there. He also has 2 units of Mordor Mornon halberds. They're not like great, but you know you can expect what they'll bring being a halberd unit. Just a pretty standard mid to low tier halberd unit. 1 unit of Temple Inquisitors, a very deadly shock infantry. They do have multiple hit points and have a tremendous attack and defense values. 1 unit of Numenorean Shield Guard, just a pretty standard mid to high tier spearman unit. And he also has 1 unit of Olaghai, 2 units of Sauron's Will, and I'm pretty sure that concludes his army composition. So we'll now go over here to the Alliance of Isengard and the Woodland Realms. Isengard is being commanded by Bobo 16k. He has 4 units of Uruk-hai pikemen, 5 units of Uruk-hai raiders, who are not to be underestimated. They have pretty good attack and defense values for being a low to mid tier unit. This has, I believe, 2 units of Uruk-hai archers. Again, pretty much the same as the Uruk-hai raiders. A lot of people underestimate them. 1 unit of Ward riders, who are, of course, do have hit points now, and they are effective against other cavalry. He also has 3 units of the very fearsome Uruk-hai crossbows, and 4 units of Uruk-hai infantry, and to wrap it all up, he has 1 unit of the Champions of the White Hand, which is where his general is. You can see him looking very cool right there. I must say, I really do like his helmet. And I'm pretty sure that wraps up the army compositions for all. Oh no, I totally forgot. The Woodland Realms. I'm sorry. So yeah, I already said it is being commanded by a General WVPM. I don't know if I actually said that. Is 1 unit of the Elder Palace Guard, who are a very expensive, but very high tier unit. I believe they're around like 1,800 florins, but they can definitely do work if they are allowed to get into melee. And they can even take a lot of arrow fire because they do have like 5 hit points or something crazy like that. 2 units of Hiri Lang, of course, very similar to the Elrenway Swordsman and Lothlorien Heavy Swordsman. 2 units of Hiranek, 1 is here, 1 is down in the valley. 1 unit of the Elder Royal Council, who are, I believe, 1,700 florins, a very deadly archer unit. And they can definitely hold their own in melee. They are better than most units in melee, actually, which is why they are, of course, very expensive. Also has 1 unit of Hin-E Dower hidden around here, also a unit of Foresters of Haleth, and he also has 1 unit down here of the Woodland Sentinels. He also has 2 units of Hiri Dirith, and I believe he also has 2 units of Woodland Patrol that are hidden around here. In addition to that, he has 2 units of Elder Pathfinders. And I'm pretty sure that is his entire army. It is a very small one, but definitely a very elite one. So we'll go ahead and start this battle off, and right to begin with, you're just going to see my poor Dunedain bodyguard cavalry just get absolutely wrecked by some arrow volleys. And you can see right away that I'm just trying to run up the hill right there to get into a nice defensive position. And Dark Elven King is doing the same, because surprisingly, both Mordor and Arnor definitely rushed, as well as the Woodland Realms. Actually, they rushed us pretty hard. I was actually trying to charge these Dunedain bodyguards down into these Woodland Sentinels, but I actually didn't see the stakes. I was able to notice them before it was too late, but unfortunately, it did just make them get into position to get shot to death, pretty much. So my poor Dunedain bodyguards do get pretty much entirely wiped out by arrows, but that is fine, because every arrow fired at them is an arrow not fired at my main infantry force, which is totally fine by me. You're just going to see them get dropped. Their hit points are pretty much gone by now, and so they're just going to drop very quickly. Not to mention the fact that pretty much all those archers that are firing at them are AP. See my horde of Eriadorian forces moving in amongst Dark Elven Kings. And over here, Dark Elven King has actually committed his bodyguard over here to just slow down the advances of the Mordor and Isengard, or Mordor and Arnor players. You can see Suit Fungus is bringing up some cavalry as well as some trolls as we speak. Now, actually, we were not aware of this during the battle, and I only found out about it just because of how they were kind of talking later after the battle, these players. But I didn't know that all 4 of these players had actually decided to team up against us and try to sandwich us, which was rather interesting. It was kind of played out for a very fun battle. You can see that my poor bodyguard have been absolutely shot to death, except for that 1 unit right there. And you can see that General WVPM is moving forward some infantry. However, you will notice that both Isengard and Arnor do obviously hold some reservations about this alliance, because a large portion of the Isengard mid-tier and elites will stay back, not to mention a lot of the Arnor forces will do the same. So there's going to be definitely a huge push by a lot of the Mordor players, by pretty much the entirety of the Mordor players' forces right here. You can see all of his troops just pushing forward right here. If only we had a catapult or a ballista right here, but unfortunately we were not able to get one there in time. And over here you can see that the bodyguard are pretty much just trying to give their infantry some time to get over here, which is definitely a very good. I believe that's like, yeah, that's actually some of my green regards. And oh yeah, I don't know if I mentioned, but I also do have a catapult. It does get some pretty nice hits on this blob of Woodland Realms troops. Ooh. Oh, you can see right there, taking a big chunk out of those Hiri Lang and Hiri Deerth, which is definitely a good thing for us. Taking a few Heron Spearmen, looks like right there. Maybe just one? Yeah, just one. You can see he's bringing forward some archers to try to skirmish down my forces, but I believe he is going to actually go for my catapult first with his archers, which does allow my crossbows time to fire his infantry and archers, which is definitely a good thing for us. You can actually see that Bobo 16K is bringing forward a large portion of his Uruk-hai raiders this way, as well as General WVPM is bringing forward. Oh, another good catapult hit, some Woodland Patrol. I believe, yeah, my crossbows did get a decent volley off on some Hiri Lang, which was fortunate, but they weren't able to get actually very many volleys off, unfortunately, on the Hiri Lang. As you can see, pretty much the entire army of the Woodland Realms is just rushing forward after us. You can see a bunch of Woodland Patrol, and not far behind them are his Elder Palace Guard, which is where his general is. And over here, you can see that some cavalry of both Isengard and the Woodland Realms is over here, trying to protect this area from Arnor should they attack. And we'll go take a quick look at what's going on over here with Mordor and Eriador. You can see that some trolls are in and amongst these Carlin footmen who, they're not going to be able to, the Carlin footmen are not going to be able to do great, however they will do better than some of the other units. Also, Stewed Fungus is firing in some arrows by his Numenorean Shadow Guard. That is actually really, really loud. I apologize for that. Yeah, that was incredibly loud. I hope it was loud. I hope it wasn't too loud for you guys. I did try to turn it down as quickly as I could. Anyway, over here you can also see that some infantry has begun to fight with my own troops. You see my Carlin footmen and 4 Chill Heavy Swords are fighting against the Hiri Deerth and Hiri Lang of General WVPM. I believe there's also actually a unit of 4 Chill Heavy Swords of Dark Elven King over here, which was definitely nice, because it did allow my troops a little bit more time to get ready. My catapult is still firing, and it looks like most of the General WVPM's archers are firing at my gatekeepers. Not really, though, because I guess they'd be taking a lot more casualties if they were really getting targeted down. But obviously, my main focus right now with my crossbows is to target these Elder Royal Council, who, as you can see, are already down to 77. Woodland Sentinels are at 88, and the Foresters of Haleth are at 98. And the Hindidour are still very healthy. You can see a lot of Raiders being pushed forward here now. They are winded. And it looks like some Uruk-hai crossbows actually are also being moved up. See, this is a large portion of Elven archers right here, so I need to try to silence these guys as quickly as possible. But luckily for me, he didn't seem to be targeting my crossbows right away. He was more targeting just my, my catapult. My poor catapult just got instantly wrecked. But whenever you're facing Woodland Realms, your artillery will usually never do well, just because as soon as they turn on fire arrows, your artillery will just get pretty much instantaneously wrecked. But even though he actually had taken out my catapult, he just kept aiming at the catapult crew afterwards, which did allow my crossbows time to fire down a large portion of his archers. The Elder Royal Council are actually now already down to 66. Just as you can see some Uruk-hai Raiders and a Woodland Patrol going up to help with the Hiri Lang, Hiri Deerth, and Hiri Spearmen. You can see that I also committed my second unit of 4 Chill Heavy Swords because the Woodland Realms player was able to actually wrap around some troops to this side and did manage to silence my 4 Chill Gatekeepers for a short amount of time, which is why I am going to push down some Greenway Guards and some 4 Chill Heavy Spearmen. Let's see how these archers are doing. Still at 63, 91, 90, and 82. Yes, and you can see that some Uruk-hai crossbows as well as some Uruk-hai pikemen are about to get into the fight as well. So I don't believe anything has been going on over here quite yet. No, it does not look like it. Looks like there are some pikemen and some raiders here protecting, as well as a unit of war graders are over here. Oh, I take it back. Actually, the trebuchet of Arcturus is firing, I believe, at these Uruk-hai archers. But it could also be firing just over here at these pikemen, because the trebuchet is, of course, a very, very inaccurate. But to make up for that, it does have some incredibly awesome range. Oh, looks like actually some Warg Riders were actually shot down. Oh, after getting a nice charge apparently off on some Arthedain men-at-arms. So Arcturus does have some of his forces here to try to skirmish down these Warg Riders. He also bring forward his Arnor Knights. And we'll take a quick look over here at what's going on by my ally. You can see a large portion of the Mordor force is just sitting here, while the rest of it is all fighting up here against some Carlin footmen and some 4-trail heavy swords, who will be able to do reasonably well against the Mordor Mordor Uruks and Orc Raiders. However, the Sauron's will definitely take their toll on these Eriadorian forces. However, this whole time, his Dark Elven King's crossbows are just having a field day, just shooting down anything that is being committed right here, which is definitely very good for us. That unit of Sauron's will already down to 32. And we'll take a quick... Yes, okay, so because my catapult had been taken out, actually, pause it for just a second, I did ask my ally to begin firing down his ballista, because as you can see, I'm really starting to struggle right here. My infantry is starting to fade relatively quickly, so I am bringing down some Cardinal Royal Guards, some Greenway Guard, and just pretty much all my infantry that I can spare right now. I'm also bringing down some Battle Ready Dunedain, as you can see, because we are beginning to get pushed very, very hard right here on this right side. However, you can see that a lot of the Woodland Realms infantry is also starting to go down. But yes, this ballista was in the perfect position. You will see it get a ton of really, really great hits on these Uruk-hai Raiders and Woodland Patrol. Ooh, really close to getting friendly fire, but still, they was able to not get any friendly fire. Ooh, another great hit. Elder Royal Council now down to 45 after getting there's constantly getting crossbowed, taking brutal volleys right from the very front. Now down to 36, but you can see some Uruk-hai pikemen also showing their faces, going to be committed right here. They will be able to very well. They'll kill my forces slowly, but they will do it shortly. The Foresters of Haleth are down to 66, Hinidar are down to 85, and the Woodland Sentinels are down to 53. Because I actually was targeting just the Elder Royal Council, who are now down to 26. Well, yeah, so I was just using both my crossbows to fire at the Elder Royal Council. However, because his archers were so close to each other, it actually had some very fortunate for me anyway. Fortunate for me, it was able to actually shoot down some of these other units as well. I'm sorry I can't really talk very well today. I'm just kind of tired. Yeah, I have pushed down some Cardinal Royal Guard, some Green Guards, and you can see a unit of 4-trail heavy spearmen being brought down as well. They're actually being targeted by the archers, which again, that's fine by me, because as long as they're not firing at my crossbows, I'm totally fine with them firing at my infantry. You can see a few routing 4-trail heavy swords. However, they are down to only 2, so it's not of huge consequence. See that the fighting is starting to turn back in my favor over here, which is why Bobo 16K is bringing forward a unit of pikes, because both his and General WVPM's infantry is starting to go down pretty quickly. And actually see that I'm also bringing forward a unit of bandit javelins. Just at the same time, oh, I regret missing that. If you're wondering why these Elder Palace Guard, who start out as 63, are down to 53 and they are very, very bloodied, is because General WVPM actually placed them right in front of his archers, and I believe lost micro on them. So I was able to get off 2 very brutal volleys of my crossbows right into the front of those Elder Palace Guard, which not only killed 10 of them, but also shaved off a few of their hit points. See that a lot more Uruk-hai Raiders are also being committed as we speak. And I am bringing down these bandit javelins actually to try to throw them at these Elder Palace Guard, who are down to like 50 or so, because they are of course very, very deadly, and even if they have lost a few of their units and hit points, they still will just absolutely wreck anything I put up there. Yes, they did get a pretty nice volley off right there. You can see just the hail of arrows firing still down upon these archers. The Elder Royal Council are now down to only 9. Forces of Halos are down to 33. Hinny-Dow are still relatively healthy at 57. And the Woodland Sentinels are down to 13. So, to my very... I was very surprised. I was actually kind of winning the skirmish phase, but I believe it was mostly just because of the fact that he was not targeting my crossbows. He was more just targeting... Oh, a little bit of friendly fire there, but still great hits by the ballista. But yeah, I believe it was mostly just because of the fact that he was not targeting my crossbows. So they did, of course, rack up a lot of kills. And we'll go over here really quickly, see how it's going. You can see the crossbows of Dark Elven King are getting tons of kills, just firing straight into this blob of Mordor forces. See, a ton of bodies have already piled up right here. However, Mordor has pushed forward slightly since the last we saw. So Dark Elven King has committed, looks like, 1, maybe 2 units of Forge Heavy Spearmen, as well as another unit of Greenway Guards. Oh wait, this is actually my Greenway Guards. The Immortal Chosen dismounted Arthedain swords going on over here. Melkor's Chosen, Temple Inquisitors, and I believe over here we will see a So yes, these poor Dunedain Rangers are getting really targeted by those Uruk-hai archers who are in excellent position, just firing their fire arrows, just melting quite a few of those Dunedain Rangers. Or at the same time, you can see that Arcturus is committing a few units of Arthedain men-at-arms, as well as a unit of pikemen over here to this to fight these Uruk-hai raiders and Uruk-hai pikemen. However, because they're not really supported, and because of the archer fire of these Uruk-hai raiders, they will not be able to do it very well. However, you can see that a large portion of the Woodland Realms cavalry was cut down by these Dunedain wardens, who, because they are spearmen, of course, have the bonus against cavalry. Yes, that unit is down to 46, and that one's at 43. Oh, he's actually retreating that unit of Arthedain men-at-arms. Okay. So I have lost half of my men by now, but luckily for me, the Woodland Realms forces have been pretty heavily reduced. Especially the infantry. He really doesn't have that much infantry left. There's still 33 Palace Guard and a few scattered here in Ak, here Lang, and here Dirith. But there still is a large portion of the Uruk-hai Raiders right here. And over here, though, you can see that there are only 2 Elder Royal Council, 18 Foresters of Haleth. However, there are still 40 Hinny Dower. So I will, after firing a few volleys at these Uruk-hai Raiders, I will target those Hinny Dower. And because my infantry was again starting to get heavily reduced, I did actually commit some Black Wolves, as well as my second unit of Battle Ready Dunedain. My other unit of Battle Ready Dunedain had actually already been committed, and we're racking up quite a few kills. Now, unfortunately, for my Battle Ready Dunedain and Black Wolves, I did have to commit them against these Elder Palace Guards, so they're not going to get very many kills. However, the few kills that they do get are going to be, of course, very important, because the Elder Palace Guard are just absolutely epic in melee. Which was why it was very fortunate that I was able to get those 2 very brutal point-blank volleys off on them. See, I'm actually going to commit my 4 shell captains, because infantry-wise, everything that's not committed right here, all I have left is this 1 unit of Thieves of Tharbad, besides these 4 shell captains. So you can see I definitely am starting to lose troops fast. However, you can see that because of the combined forces of my infantry, the ballista fire, and the crossbow fire, that most of the enemy infantry is starting to fade pretty quickly. You can see a lot of dead Uruk-hai Raiders from the crossbow fire, as well as the ballista. Also, you can see a ton of these poor Woodland Realms archers have just been crossbowed to death. Most significant among them were, of course, these Elder Royal Council. My 4 shell captains, I am also coming against these Elder Palace Guard, who are now down to 29. So I will lose a few of those 4 shell captains, but it's definitely worth it, because I just need to try to take out those Elder Palace Guard as quickly as possible. So we'll take a quick look at what's going on over here. Yes, I am actually going to commit these Thieves of Tharbad up here, because Dark Elven King was starting to lose infantry very quickly. You can see Mordor is actually pushing through the middle right here. So I am going to commit some stuff over here. You can also see that some 4 shell heavy archers that are now out of ammo are also being committed, as well as his 2 units of a Greenway Guard. You can actually see some Arthedain men-at-arms as moving forward as well to fight against Dark Elven King. You can see just a ton of bodies right here. Luckily, the trolls had been taken out by this time, though. And Mordor, though, has been losing a lot of forces. They really do not have that much left. You can see a lot of their archers were shot down here. He has some Melkor's Chosen, a few the Uruk Bodyguard, and some Uruk Archers. But he has definitely been heavily reduced, his forces. So he is moving forward some of his elites, like the Temple Inquisitors, who will be able to do very well against anything that Eredor can throw against it. And back down here you can see that my Forge Gatekeepers are finally getting targeted by what is left of the archers. However, at this point in time, it's pretty much too late. They will be able to get, they will actually be able to take out a few of my Forge Gatekeepers, but just not enough to turn back the tide back in their favor. See, some Mounted Temple Inquisitors actually snuck past Dark Elven King's forces and were able to silence my Forge Gatekeepers for a time. However, because they do have the bonus against cavalry, I think they still have anyway, they were able to take out the Temple Inquisitors somewhat easily. Anyway, down here, we'll go check out what's going on. Yes, you can see that there's... Oh, yeah, there goes the Woodland Realms General, actually, being cut down, it looks like, by a Forge Captain. I still have 69 Forge Captains, a few Battle Ready Dunedain, but really most of my main infantry is pretty much gone. Like, I don't have any Forge Heavy Swords, Forge Heavy Spears, pretty much nothing like that at all. And pretty much all of the Uruk-hai Raiders and Pikemen actually have been taken out at this time as well, which was definitely very good. Because as soon as I'm able to deal with the forces on this side, I will be able to pretty much commit everything I have left up there to help out Dark Elven King. You see him actually breaking Uruk-hai Raiders right there. And these Bandit Javelins I am actually going to send back up Dark Elven King's way, because there was pretty much no reason to keep them here at the time. Because there were, of course, only 7 Elder Palace Guard and a few scattered Uruk-hai Raiders. And over here you can see that there are only 18 Hinny Dower, and the rest of the Woodland Realms archers have been taken out. It's absolutely butchered by the crossbow fire. Yeah, so these 70 Forge Gatekeepers are still firing at the Hinny Dower, who are going to drop very quickly because of that. But my other unit that was down to like 25 or something, I actually brought up here. You can see them right there to just kind of help out and fire into the flanks of this huge horde of Mordor forces. It's pretty much everything he has left. A lot of Uruk Archers, Uruk Bodyguards, some Melkor's Chosen, and the like. Also, some Arthedain Men-at-Arms are up here as well. You can see that Dark Elven King has actually had to commit his general unit of Forge Captains as well. And again, the middle portion of this area right here is getting broken through pretty quickly by the combined forces of Mordor and Arnor. You can actually see some dismounted Arthedain Knights right there going to begin to move forward. And if they are allowed to get into the melee, they will just absolutely just wreck anything that Eredor can put against it, except for the maybe the Forge Captains, but even still, the Forge Captains, I know 1v1 would probably lose, just because the Arthedain Knights do, of course, have the greater numbers. So we definitely need to target them with our crossbows as soon as possible, which you will see happen by Dark Elven King's crossbows and by own. We will target those dismounted Arthedain swords or knights pretty quickly. And we'll take a quick look over here. You can see he's actually moving his ballista back, and you can see that I have actually managed to defeat the forces of the Woodland Realms and a large portion of the very cheap units that Isengard had. However, it was at a very great cost. You can see this is pretty much all I have left infantry-wise, and then I have a couple units of Gatekeepers. One at 66, and the other one, of course, is very depleted. Still have 93 Black Wolves and 68 Forge Captains and a few Battle Ready Dunedain. I believe I also may have 14 Cardinal Royal Guard, 2 Battle Ready Dunedain in that unit, and of course these bandits who are cutting down the last of the Hinny Dower. But yeah, just look at the massive bodies right here. There was just the fighting right here was just so absolutely brutal, and the fighting over here is still going on. You can see that Dark Elven King has actually committed pretty much all that he has left infantry-wise. Some Battle Ready Dunedain. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, his Green Red Guards, his Forge Captains, which is definitely a good thing because these Temple Inquisitors and the dismounted Arthedain swords, Uruk Bodyguard, and the like are definitely starting to take their toll on our forces. However, you can see that the excellent position of these crossbows right here are going to just absolutely shred through anything that is on this flank right here. Yes, just more fighting, but Mordor is you can see is just really starting to fall quickly. You can see the mass of bodies right here that is just absolutely piled up. He does have a pretty healthy unit of Melkor's Chosen left, though. However, for the most part, most of his forces are pretty much entirely taken care of. These Melkor's Chosen, I believe, are going to just push straight through the middle, or at least try to anyway. Oh, you can see that constant, brutal archer and crossbow fire going straight into the back of those dismounted Arthedain Knights. And Orc Bodyguard. Yes, because the lines were actually relatively thin right here, these Melkor's Chosen were actually able to push straight through the middle and actually get into some of our crossbows, which is unfortunate because we were heavily relying on them by this time, because we of course had like pretty much no infantry left. Besides these Greenway Guards and of course some Battle-Ready Dunedain and some Fortune Captains. You can actually see that yes, some of my forces are beginning to come over here, like my Bandit Javelins, who are actually retreating, I believe. But then, yes, you can see that I'm just trying to reform my lines a little bit, and then, of course, I am going to commit them up here against Mordor. Yes, you can see my crossbows are actually already firing. I believe I'm trying to fire them at these Melkor's Chosen, because they are, of course, cycle charging into the back of this pocket of infantry, which is, of course, not good for us at all. Arthedain Men-at-Arms down to 9, and over here these are dismounted Arthedain Knights are down to 74. However, them and the Orc Bodyguard are really tearing through these Greenway Guards, who are actually shaken right now. Yeah, that's one of the main issues with Eriador right now anyway, is they don't have they have a lot of elite units, and a lot of their forces have some real issues with morale. I'm trying to use my Fortune Captains to charge into these Uruk Bodyguard, but they're having a few issues, but they were able to do it eventually. Also, my Black Wolves are charging in there. I was trying to get my Bandit Javelins in an area to throw their missiles at these Uruk Bodyguard, but unfortunately it just didn't happen. See my Gatekeepers as well, Dark Elven Kings, Gatekeepers, and Fortune Heavy Archers, constantly firing into the flanks of these forces right here. Oh, you can actually see some Battle-Ready Dunedain being thrown in by Arturos, I believe. Yeah, they must have come all the way up the hill. Ooh, there goes the Mordor general taken out by a crossbow bolt or an archer's arrow, looks like. More Arnor forces being committed over here. And you can see it just Isengard and Arnor are still just skirmishing each other down at the moment. Isengard still has a lot left. He's got a large portion of Uruk-hai Raiders, not to mention all 4 units of Uruk-hai Infantry, and I believe he has maybe 2 or 3 units of Pikemen left that are fully healthy anyway. He also has, of course, the 3 units of Uruk-hai Crossbows. Yes, you can see his mass of Uruk-hai Infantry beginning to move forward right now, because he does notice that the Arnor player has taken some pretty heavy casualties up on that hill from us, so he is going to try to press his advantage and charge forward. Arturos's Dunedain Rangers charging into the flank of those Uruk-hai Raiders, who were either going for these Dunedain Wardens, or maybe, I guess, trying to sneak all the way up there, but I don't think that would really happen very effectively anyway. Arturos still has 1 very healthy unit of a dismounted Arthedain Knights. Those Arnor Gate Guards, who are just absolutely beast, his Dunedain Bodyguard, and it looks like 1 unit of Arthedain Men-at-Arms, as well as a unit of dismounted Dunedain Knights, and a Catapult. Besides the rest of his archers, anyway. Yes, Arnor's archers were just really not having a very good day against the Uruk-hai archers, just mostly because of the fact that the Uruk-hai archers, while far worse than the Dunedain Rangers, just had a much better positions, and so were able to really take their toll on Arnor's archers. You see that Arcturus is actually trying to charge into some... No. I thought he was going to charge into those pikemen, but he very wisely did not, because charging headlong into pikemen with cavalry is not a good idea by any means. Oof, those pikemen are just getting absolutely shredded right now by those Dunedain Rangers and Dunedain Troll Slayers. And anyway, we'll go take a quick look at what's going on over here. See some routing troops by Stewed Fungus. But for the most part, besides this 1 unit of Arthedain Men-at-Arms, we've pretty much, very surprisingly, won the battle despite being sandwiched by like pretty much 4 armies, which was of course a very, very cool. That was actually a Dark Elven King's Journal going down right there, by the way. He still has 32 Forge Shell Captains. I have 60. I've also got a few Dunedain, Battle Ready Dunedain as well. And these Arthedain men-at-arms, even though they are fighting against some very tired troops, they will get cut down by the Battle Ready Dunedain and Forge Shell Captains. Not to mention the fact that they are getting kind of outflanked by these Black Wolves right here. Oh, and you may have been wondering what we had left down here to protect this area. Pretty much the only thing I had left down here was this unit of bandit javelins who were out of javelins, just because I knew they wouldn't be able to like fight anything, but they would at least maybe be able to buy time or at least notify me if we were getting attacked down there. And, I mean, there really wasn't anything we could do. We couldn't afford to split our forces, really. We had very, very little left. Dark Elven King still had a surprising amount of archers, but both of us had pretty much no infantry at all. Dismount Arthedain Knights actually wavering. Yes. See, in the main infantry fight, anyway, over on this side, we have actually managed to win, but at a very, very hefty cost. You can see our infantry has been heavily reduced, and my heart was just broken pretty much as soon as I saw all this huge force of Arnor troops being pushed forward. I was like, oh come on, a full health unit of dismounted Arthedain Knights, Dunedain Bodyguard, and Gate Guards, and dismounted Dunedain Knights. I was like, come on, we're not going to be able to win against that. But actually, then I looked down here and realized why Arnor was pushing forward so much, and that was because that of the massive horde that Isengard was pushing forward. They pushed forward pretty much their entire army. You can see some Dunedain Wardens, Dunedain Rangers, and some Troll Slayers somewhere in here, all trying to slow down this mass of Isengard troops just to buy enough time to get most of his elites up there. I was actually surprised that he didn't push forward this unit of Arthedain men-at-arms up there, because that would have been able to help him out a lot, but he surprisingly did not do so. Yeah, so very luckily for us, he did not decide to actually attack us, which was definitely good because we had like pretty much nothing left in terms of infantry. He pretty much just set up a defensive position right around here. He did actually send up this unit of dismounted Dunedain Knights, though, right on this little slope right here, just to stop us from maybe wanting to charge forward. But of course, we did not want to do that. Maybe at most what we were going to do was fire some crossbow bolts or arrows. But really, I believe actually at this time we actually had made an alliance with Arnor, or we do anyway in a short amount of time, because of course Isengard does have the most forces left right now. However, to be honest with you, he really doesn't have very many elites. He just has a lot of just like numbers. And yeah, the Woodland Realms is pretty much completely dead now, except for his, he's got a few Elder Pathfinders. You can see his Champions of the White Hand, Bobo 16k's Champions of the White Hand, sorry, are being pushed forward right now. And Arturos is pushing forward his Dunedain Troll Slayers. Again, I don't really know why, he's kind of just throwing them away right here. I mean, he has enough time, really, to push units up here, at least to get a better defensive position, but no, he does not decide to do so. You can see that the bodyguard, ooh, just absolutely shredding that unit of Elder Pathfinders right there by pretty much just one volley. And right here, the Urkai infantry are starting to wrap around the flanks of these Dunedain Troll Slayers. Also, right here, I was I was super worried that he was going to just push his forces all the way around that side, because if he did, then that means we wouldn't be able to get any support from Arnor. But he does not. He turns them back around, which was definitely very good. I was actually very surprised. If he wanted to take us out and then deal with Arnor first, he probably should have sent forces that way, because then he wouldn't have to fight against Arnor and Eriador at the same time. But no, he just decides to go up this way anyway. Ooh, those Uruk-hai pikemen are going to fight against a unit of Arthedain men-at-arms. The pikemen will be able to do actually reasonably well against this Arthedain men-at-arms. Mostly just because of the fact they'll be able to slow them down long enough for the rest of his forces to get in and wrap around these Arthedain men-at-arms. We can see the Champions of the White Hand trying to charge into those Dunedain bodyguard, and doing so relatively successfully. However, because it was, of course, an uphill charge, they didn't get the best charge off, and they did take a lot of losses, actually. Ooh, actually, yeah, now these Champions of the White Hand are opting to change for a much, much softer target in the form of these men-at-arms, charging straight into the flank of them, or more the back, rather, and just taking out a huge number of them right there. And so to stop this, Arcturus is actually going to try to fire down these Champions of the White Hand with his Dunedain bodyguard. However, I guess he just didn't notice these Uruk-hai crossbowmen moving into range, because the Uruk-hai crossbowmen will absolutely just shred through these Dunedain bodyguard unless they are silenced. You can see the rest of Bobo 16K's forces being pushed forward. He actually did not really wrap around the Dunedain Troll Slayers as quickly as I thought he would, and because of that, you can see he is starting to take a lot of losses right there. Because, of course, the Dunedain Troll Slayers, I believe they do have a couple hit points, maybe one or two, and they are, of course, AP with their massive axes. Okay, yeah, now he is charging around their flanks, which is essentially going to be the nail in the coffin for those Dunedain Troll Slayers. Over here, you can see the cycle charging has not stopped. He's just going to continue to cycle charge into the back of those Arthedain men-at-arms. He actually does have a hidden unit of Dunedain Rangers who are going to slow down these Champions of the White Hand for a little bit, long enough to get maybe a half volley off onto the Champions of the White Hand with the Dunedain bodyguard. However, the Dunedain bodyguard are going to take some, brutal volleys right there from the Uruk-hai crossbows. That's just absolutely horrendous. Yes. So I know, I guess I can understand why he was going after, like, deciding to fire at these Champions of the White Hand. But I mean, he'd already retreated most of his forces up the hill. So if I were him, I would have probably gone for the crossbows, or at least like retreated out of the range of the crossbows and then started firing at the crossbows. Because of course, when you have the uphill advantage like this, the bows will obviously have the much better range than the crossbows. Not to mention on a flat field, of course, the archers always have better range than the crossbows, just less damage. And those 54 Arthedain men-at-arms are now routing. Oh, just look at that. A large portion of those Dunedain bodyguard just shot down by those Uruk-hai crossbows. And so right now, Bobo 16K is just going to try to defeat what Arnor has left down here. Those Dunedain Troll Slayers, even getting flanked, still were able to do well. However, now they're just going to take some pretty horrendous crossbow volleys right into their back, which will just take them out pretty instantaneously. So after that, after he deals with those Troll Slayers, pretty much what's going to happen is Bobo 16K is just going to reform his troops and then come up here and attack both Eriador and Arnor. See these gate guards right here formed a very nice position right here, and pretty much anything that Isengard decides to throw against them, unless he pushes forward his whole army against these Arnor gate guards at once, he probably will not be able to actually break through them. Yeah, some dismounted Arthedain knights are still there as well. And his Dunedain bodyguard are also there. Yeah, so he actually is retreating his dismounted Dunedain knights, because at this point we actually had become allies with him. Because, of course, Isengard obviously has the most amount of troops on the field at the moment. Moving for some crossbows first, I assume, just to try to get some volleys off, probably on those Arnor gate guards. Ooh, I mean, just look at how much he has left. He just has a huge portion of his infantry left. Not to mention, it's mostly his better infantry. Like, he has his Uruk-hai infantry and his Uruk-hai pikemen and stuff. Like, before, he was only attacking us with the Uruk-hai raiders and stuff. So definitely he's bringing up some more elite stuff. And I wouldn't call Uruk-hai infantry elite, but they're definitely mid-tier. We can see these Uruk-hai crossbows are actually taking some casualties from those Dunedain bodyguard who are in a very nice position up there on that hill. However, because there are only 28 of them left, they're not going to be able to do a huge amount of damage. And they'll be able to take out a few, but still, not a whole lot. Actually take out more than I thought they would on just those couple volleys. Surprisingly not firing at the Uruk-hai pikemen. I mean, they are Uruk-hai pikemen, yeah, I don't know why. I would probably fire at the Uruk-hai pikemen. I mean, the crossbows are, of course, a much softer target, but still they are pikemen. They don't have shields, so they would take quite a few casualties. Maybe he was running low on ammo, or he just wanted to wait until Isengard pushed forward and wanted to maybe save the ammo to try to silence some of the crossbows. But again, you only have 28 of the Dunedain bodyguard left. And if he's able to get his crossbows in range of those bodyguard, the bodyguard will die very quickly. So yeah, Bobo 16k at the current time is just trying to reform his troops, and then he will push forward. He was actually, I'm pretty sure anyway, if I can remember correctly, he was trying to maybe like bait us into attacking each other, but of course we weren't going to do that because we both me and my ally had pretty much nothing left, and pretty much the same went for Arnor. Arnor did have a little bit more than us infantry-wise, but of course we definitely still had a lot more archers and crossbows. And so we've pretty much just taken up position on this little hill. You can see I've got some gatekeepers, my black wolves, some battle-ready Dunedain, and my Fortune captains, as well as my bandit javelins back here. Oh, I'm sorry. You can see the Ballista of Dark Elven King also right there, and some random just like scraps of units right there as well. Yes, I believe I actually also have a few random Carlin Royal Guard. Yeah, 14 Carlin Royal Guard, and maybe like 36 battle-ready Dunedain. I might have some. What are they called? 4 Chill Heavy Spearmen somewhere as well. I don't know exactly. Yeah, Dark Elven King still has a lot of missiles left. He has 2 units of Gatekeepers and a depleted unit of 4 Chill Heavy Archers. I also have 2 units of Gatekeepers, but at this time they were really running low on ammo. You see my healthy unit of Gatekeepers actually right here. I was trying to get them in range of these units, but unfortunately it just didn't happen. So I am actually going to fast forward this part right now because obviously this battle lasted a lot longer, but the main reason for that was just because it was such a stalemate, because at the end pretty much no one had anything left, so we were just all waiting, just trying to decide, bait each other into attacking. So it does last for quite some time. Ooh. I don't know what they're firing. Am I really firing at? Oh no, yes. I'm firing at these Uruk-hai crossbows who are actually now beginning to move forward. Taking that many casualties, I believe it's because they're most of them are just kind of running the hill, but he is actually going to retreat them nonetheless. But he is going to commit these Uruk-hai archers right here, who are out of ammo, which will actually force me to retreat these 4 Chill Gatekeepers, because of course I do not want them to take any unnecessary losses. So I'll just go ahead and speed this up again. It's pretty boring to be honest right now until Isengard fully pushes forward anyway. He's actually moving forward some crossbows again. Oh, we can see the brave charge of my 2 battle-ready Dunedain right here into those Uruk-hai archers. Actually taking out a few on the charge. Ooh, he took out one. He took out another one. Ooh, yeah, that the other one's just getting stun locked, so he's gonna die pretty. Okay, yeah, there goes one. Oh, he got a kill. Nice. Battle hurting Dunedain. Good job. Oh. Still alive? Still alive, just taking hits. Wow. But yeah, he's just getting stun locked. He's not even being able to attack, and there he goes. But yeah, he actually, Bobo 16k is committing some more of his troops. Looks like some pikemen, 45 pikemen, and some crossbows. Yes, if I were him, I would probably either target the Arnora gate guards or the like four chill captains or something, but he actually does not do that, which does allow us to actually fire our own missiles at his crossbows, which is definitely a very good target. I'm again bringing down some four chill gatekeepers, but because of the hill, I was unfortunately not able to fire at them, or fire at these crossbows. Looks like the crossbows are reloading, firing missiles. Oh, I think it's just this one guy who's firing a missile. Good job for you, man. We'll see if you get a kill. I didn't see. I don't know if he got a kill or not. I think he might have shot one of my black wolves. Oh yeah, 11 of my 4 chill heavy spearmen were fighting against those Uruk-hai archers, who are now routing. So now he's retreating his crossbows, but moving forward his pikemen. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna put on at least 2 speed for a while, just because this is of course a pretty boring part, and I don't want you guys to just be bored for this whole part. However, you can see that some archers actually, 4 chill heavy archers of Dark Elven King, are firing down these Uruk-hai crossbows. I don't know, maybe it's my gatekeepers. I don't know. And these Uruk-hai pikemen are going to have a very bad day, because they're just going to get point blank javelined right in the face by my bandits. You'll see right here. Oh, very nice volley right there. Surprisingly, only taking out 5. I believe that was actually Mordor admitting defeat. Ooh, those poor pikemen just getting taken out that whole way. And they're pretty much done for. I retreat my bandits because, of course, I don't want them to get killed. And I'm actually going to commit these gatekeepers because they are out of ammo. I still do have 1 unit of gatekeepers, though, that still has a little bit of ammo. Ooh, those Uruk-hai crossbows are taking quite a beating from the 4 chill heavy archers and gatekeepers, actually. Ooh. Yeah, taking out quite a few of them, actually. Okay, yes, now you can see the, a lot more of Isengard's forces are being pushed forward. You can see some Uruk-hai pikemen, Uruk-hai infantry, and I believe some crossbows are back there somewhere as well. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Let me see here. Fast forward it a bit. Okay, yes. Now you can see that the fight is about to begin in full. See, I've got some bandit javelins here. The last of my javelins I just threw at those pikemen. And both Dark Elven King's crossbows, his archers, and also my crossbows are firing at the flanks of these Uruk-hai infantry. You can also see that he has brought forward his ballista here, which will have a very nice position right here, if it, as long as it doesn't get any friendly fire, that is. He's still got 92 4 chill heavy archers, surprisingly. I'm just rushing these bandit javelins down just because it'll silence the crossbows, at least for a little while. Hopefully. That was the plan anyway, but it was pretty much stopped because of these Uruk-hai infantry. Oh. Yeah, so... Oh, brutal javelin and then crossbow volley right on those Uruk-hai infantry. Yeah, so Bobo 16K actually decided to go for Arnor first, which is really not surprising. Arnor, of course, had had more units. But his units, seeing as they're not super elite, are going to struggle against these very elite units of Arnor. You can see Arcturus is actually retreating this unit of Dismount Arthedain Knights. He's going to pretty much run them pretty much all the way over there, which will actually protect them from getting killed by any missiles. And you can see these Dundane Bodyguard are firing, I believe, at some crossbows. Yeah, I believe they're firing down there at those 92 crossbows. Yes. Who, yeah, because they're not in loose formation, they're going to take a lot of losses. The Arnor Gate Guards are still at 123 in the unit. And over here you can see that Isengard is committing what he has, some more of his troops over here on our side. So he is not he's not just going after Arnor, he's going after both of us, which is yeah, like see, if I was Isengard, I probably just would have went all the way around, like where the Woodland Realms was fighting, and tried to take out the Eriador, like us, Eriador, from behind. I mean, of course, we would have like put some units over here, but still, you would have had more room to fire your crossbows, and you would have been able to spread out our forces. Just use, yeah, you would have been able to spread out our forces more. But he is deciding actually just to attack both Arnor and Ardor at the same time and at choke points. You can see that he actually is starting to make some headway, but he is, of course, losing troops very, very quickly. Arnor Gate Guards still at 123 in the unit. They are definitely not to be trifled with or taken lightly. Yes, I actually charged down most of my infantry because yeah, we did charge down our infantry a little bit just because I didn't want to just get poked to death by these pikemen, so I did try to charge down. Also, you can see that we are taking some losses because of these crossbows right here, who were able to get in range. So, Dark Elven King, though, was able to silence them with his ballista and his own Fortune Heavy Archers and crossbows. Which is definitely good, because if we were just getting crossbowed the whole time, we would have definitely lost a lot of troops right here. Which, as you can see, we are losing a lot of troops. And let's take a look at what's going on over here. Those crossbows are taking quite a beating. And the Arnor Gate Guards are still at 123 men in the unit, and they have kind of stopped this little hole in their defense. Or this more like bubble, really. And the Bodyguard as well are also targeting these Uruk crossbows. And you can see that Isengard is starting to lose a lot. I mean, this is all he has left is what he has here. He just has this pikeman and these couple units of Uruk infantry right here. That's all he has left. So, it's definitely creating some very interesting, situations, to say the least. Like, what should Isengard do? Should he pull back? Should he keep attacking? I don't know. Ooh, again targeting our infantry right there with those volleys. Oh, that's just some brutal point-blank volleys right there. Really not a good situation for us right now. You can see we're starting to lose infantry pretty dang quickly. Which is why Dark Elven King is bringing forward another unit of Gatekeepers to try to deal with the threat of those Uruk crossbows. Ooh, that ballista. And right here you can see that there still is a large portion of Isengard infantry right here, like Uruk infantry and Uruk pikemen, but they are starting to drop relatively quickly. There are still 100 dismounted Dunedain Knights. The unit was at 123, and the Arnor Gate Guards are still at 123. Yeah, I'm gonna start. There's like nothing really like interesting to be said right now, but I mean, there's just really not. There's really nothing I can say. It's just a choke point battle at the moment right now. Let me see. So these crossbows are down to 32. That one's at 30. And these pikemen are still fighting against what is left of our infantry. You can see because of those crossbows, this is all the infantry we have left. I have 42 forward shell captains, a couple of random gatekeepers. Dark Elven King also has some forward shell captains back here. Yeah, back here he has some forward shell captains. And some more gatekeepers, so definitely he did a much better job than I did of conserving ammo. Ooh, ballista. Firing straight into that blob of Isengard troops right there. Oh yes, and over here the Dunedain Bodyguard are also out of ammo. And those Arthedain knights. I want to call them the swords, but that's what they were called before this patch. But no, these dismounted Arthedain knights are still over here, just kind of hiding by that mountain. And over here you can see that Bobo 16k has decided he was taking too many losses, so he is actually going to do a full retreat, which is going to create a very strange situation, to say the least. You can see his general right there. One of the only 3 remaining champions of the White Hand, actually. And we were actually finally able to silence those crossbows. That unit's down to 10, and I don't know where the other unit is. It might be entirely taken out. I do not know. Which is definitely very, very timely, to be sure, because you can see that pretty much everything I have left is right here. I don't have any archers left, I believe. I'm pretty sure all my ammo was spent at the moment, at this time. So pretty much the only thing I had left was these random bits of infantry right here fighting against these Uruk-hai pikemen. Oh, I'm sorry if you can hear that. There's a plane. Sorry about that. Yes, let's see what's going on here. Dismounted Dunedain Knights are starting to take more casualties, but still, they're not even half. They're still not even at half, and the Armor Gate Guards are still at 123. They still have not even taken a single casualty in that unit. However, because they have been fighting for quite some time now, they will start to drop a little bit. Ooh, now the general is the one champion of the White Hand left. I believe Dark Elven King was actually targeting that unit just to try to take out the general and break the morale of Isengard, who you can see. Yeah, there he goes. He's actually retreating the rest of his forces because he doesn't have very much left. He was losing too many troops against these very elite this very elite pikeman unit, not to mention these dismounted Dunedain knights. So yeah, he's trying to retreat. We're not going to charge down, because if we had charged down, then that means we would have probably been sandwiched by Arnor. And so we actually had broken the truce, but this time we're actually going to fire our crossbows and ballista at them instead, because now I didn't feel like Isengard was the biggest threat. Now I felt like Arnor was, just because of the fact that these Arnor Gate Guards were still alive. We can see that they're actually wavering right there. I didn't even notice that in the game. They're 108, they're wavering. But because of the crossbow fire right there and the ballista fire, we were able to take out a lot of the Arnor Gate Guards, fortunately for us. There are still 68 dismounted Dunedain Knights. And the Arthedain Knights are over there as well. And the bodyguards here. So yes, a lot of those Arnor Gate Guards getting taken out by Dark Elven King's crossbows and archers. Here, I'm sorry, I don't know what the heck that is. I'm just going to pause this for a bit, and then I will come back. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm back now. Sorry about that. It was actually not a plane. It was just some people mowing on some of those huge riding mowers. So I do apologize about that. But anyway, we are back now. The Arnor Gate Guards, after taking some brutal crossbow volleys, are down to 83. And these dismounted Dunedain Knights are down to 67. Oh. Yeah, I don't know why he actually didn't move them, both these units, because they just essentially are just going to get crossbowed pretty much almost to entire destruction for both of these units. And it's really not a huge issue at all that we're actually also firing at these dismounted Dunedain Knights, because when you do have a crossbow, it actually does ignore the shield bonus as a whole. Oh. And in shield wall is just going to make it a bit easier target to fire at, because they're just so much closer. That is why loose formation is the thing. Oh. 65 and 62. And anyway, we'll look over here really quickly, see what Isengard is doing. Yes, he's just retreated pretty much all of his forces right down here. However, as you can see, he pretty much does not have a lot left. He just has 110 Uruk-hai infantry, 56 Uruk-hai infantry, and then 2 very depleted units of Uruk-hai pikemen. Luckily for us, he did not have any crossbows at the time. Or at this time. I'm sorry, I can't speak English. I'm sorry. Take a look over here. 61 armor 8 guards, 60 dismounted Dunedain knights. We'll just speed this up because it's, again, just a pretty boring part. It's just crossbows firing at these armor units. Yeah, see, that's how just incredible these armor 8 guards are. They're taking a bunch of volleys but still not going down. They are definitely a very, very difficult pikeman unit to deal with. Now you can see that their hit points are starting to disappear. They are dropping fairly quickly down to around 30. Dismounted Dunedain Knights are the next target because, like I said, the crossbows do ignore the shield, so it's just like firing at a shock unit. Oof. This Dismounted Dunedain Knights just going down very, very quickly. I was even surprised actually on how much ammo Dark Elven King had left. I mean, he must have had like 2 units or something that were still 2 units of crossbows anyway that still had like completely well, 2 units of crossbows anyway that had like at least half ammo left because they were just constantly firing. But yes, so Arcturus is going to retreat. Pretty much everything is left now down this way because it does of course protect him from the crossbow and archer fire. You can see that Dark Elven King was bringing forward some Forge Hill Gatekeepers. I don't know if they were out of ammo or he was just trying to move them closer to get a better shot. I just don't know. And down there you can see some Uruk-hai infantry and Uruk-hai pikemen just biding their time waiting down there. But I don't know if Dark Elven King will try to fire his ballista down at them. I just don't remember. This battle was a few days ago. Yeah, these gatekeepers must be out of ammo because they're just sitting here not firing. I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, these poor Uruk-hai infantry and pikemen, they were just absolutely butchered by those armor gate guards and dismounted Dunedain knights. As you can see, some archers, Forge Hill heavy archers, actually being brought forward by Dark Elven King to try to get some volleys off on those pikemen and Dunedain knights. Ooh, but if they're not careful, they're gonna get charged right in the front by those Dunedain knights. Oh no. Oh yeah, they didn't even get a volley off. So if he doesn't get them out of there, then that's going to be very unfortunate, because even though they are archers, they still will be able to do a decent job against the Arthedain knights and the armored gate guards. Because of course both those units do not have shields. Then again, they might have only had like 1 volley left, so it's not a huge deal. Yes, it looks like he actually has brought his ballista down. Oh, and he must have fired once or something. Or at least Bobo 16K saw what he was doing, because he has actually retreated his forces back here. So they're not subjected to any unnecessary ballista fire. But yeah, so there were 16,000, I believe 299 troops on this field. And I mean, just look how many there are left. There's like barely any left. There's just a little bit of Arnor, barely anything of Eriador, and just a little bit of Isengard left. So really a horrendously costly battle. Oh my goodness, look at all those orcs. All those orc bodies. So many dead Mordor forces right there. Not to mention a lot of dead Uruk-hai raiders and woodland realms elves down here as well. You can easily see those red capes. Oh, so many of his archers were just shot down right there. Take a look back over here. You see that Arcturus is actually committing his general unit right now, the Dunedain bodyguard. And he is also, yeah, he's using his armor gate guards over here to fight against these Forge Hill heavy archers and Forge Hill gate guards. Yes, so Dark Elven King is now pretty much out of ammo, I believe, with everything except for maybe 1 unit of Forge Hill Gatekeepers. Yeah, that one unit of Forge Hill Gatekeepers he still has left. And that's the only thing that he actually does have ammo left. Because everything else he's all the rest of his missile units you can see right here are just fighting against the Arnor Gate Guards and Dunedain Bodyguard, who will be able to do very well against these missile units because they are, even though they are heavily armored. The only way the Fort Shell units will actually be able to overcome these elites is if they are able to push through them and kind of just surround them and then stunlock them to death. So actually, yeah, there goes the general right there, which is definitely a very good thing for us. Cut down maybe by a Fort Shell heavy archer? I didn't see exactly. Yeah, the Dunedain Bodyguard are down to 24. And yes, I'm committing some battle running Dunedain here as well, just to try to help out Dark Elven King take out these Arnor Gate Guards and Dunedain Bodyguard. So definitely the biggest threat to us right now was those dismounted Arthedain Knights. If Arnor was able to team up with Isengard, I feel like we would be able to we would just be absolutely destroyed. However, I don't think Arnor would want to do that just quite yet because Isengard might have had enough left to actually deal with Arnor afterward. Things are starting to look a little bit better for us, actually. We actually still have those units right there. We have Dark Elven King's Ballista, and we have a couple units of, yeah, we have my Fort Shell Captains, Dark Elven King's Fort Shell Captains, and one unit of Dark Elven King's Fort Shell Gatekeepers. As well as just some random units like 10, like those 10 Dunedain, or Battle Ready Dunedain. Like I've said Dunedain over and over again because there were 2 armies of Eriador and then 1 army of Arnor. Arnor Gate Guards are still at 22, however the Dunedain Bodyguard are down to 18. And yeah, 10 Battle Ready Dunedain of Dark Elven King are now being committed as well. I believe he was also trying to get this ballista into the range of those dismounted Arthedain Knights, but unfortunately it was only this one ballista I was able to fire, and I don't know. Never mind. Yeah, we just it wasn't in range. Didn't work out. I did take out these Battle Ready Dunedain just because I was trying to like wrap around or just get that extra charge bonus because they do have a pretty good charge bonus. Yeah, my 4 Shell Gatekeepers that are out of ammo are also here. I think I'll speed this up a little bit. Yeah, we're just trying to push through and just so we can just surround these Arnor Gate Guards or break them. I mean, they're actually shaken. I don't know what I'm doing with my Battle Ready Dunedain. Isengard is still just down there, just waiting it out. While the very slow fight is going on over here. 15 Arnor Gate Guards and 11 Dunedain Bodyguard who are going to go after this ballista, which is fine because it means that they're going to either get fired at by these gatekeepers or I can just charge my captains after them. Plus, I believe at this time that Dark Elven King's Ballista was pretty much out of ammo, so it wasn't a huge loss. Plus, I believe I don't even think that his whole crew dies, because his crew is still at 53, so. Ooh, actually, his dismounted Arthedain Knights are being committed right now as well. Actually, yes, that's what we were doing. I remember that now. We were actually pulling back our forces here, allowing him to push through us because we wanted to get his troops into range of Dark Elven King's crossbows, which you will see. You can see now worked to great effect. You can see his crossbows reloading right now, going to definitely target these dismounted Arthedain Knights. Okay, yes, it was close, but we were able to get a volley off on them. Taking out a large portion right there. Wow, almost taking out, yeah, taking out 20 of them right there. So definitely worked out in favor of us. Still 10 Dunedain Bodyguard, and the Ballista crew is just getting cut down. Just getting absolutely cut down. Yeah, I'll just speed it up a bit. Oh, the ballista's actually going to fire. I think. I can hear it. Oh, nope. They were stopped. The bodyguard stopped him. Oh, okay, yeah. But his Dark Elven King's forward shell captains will be able to cut down these Dunedain bodyguard. Not to mention these Arnold guards. Ooh. Yeah. So there go the Arnold Gate Guards and the Dunedain bodyguard. So now, again, it was just a really all-around interesting situation because his health unit, or somewhat health unit of dismounted Arthedain Knights is just sitting here. We have some very depleted units that were fighting for a long time. We have 2 units of 4 shell captains that are depleted and 1 unit of gatekeepers that Dark Elven King has, as well as the ballista. And then down here, Isengard has just been sitting. Oh yeah, the gate guards actually broke. Then down here, Isengard has just been sitting with what remains of his forces. And that only consists of 110 Urkai infantry, 56 Urkai infantry, and then 27 and 53 pikemen. So yeah, there's not a lot of troops left over, to be sure. We were trying to get this ballista in range. Actually, you can see Dark Elven King's 4 shell gatekeepers were able to push forward and fire a volley right over this hill straight into the front of these dismounted Arthedain Knights, who are just going to get dropped right there, taking out 10 of them right there. And he's going to run them away because, of course, he does not want to lose them. Because even with our 4 shell captains and what we have left, we probably would not be able to take out that dismounted Arthedain Knights if, well, just through like sole melee power, because of course we really don't have very much in terms of infantry left. He's trying to get his ballista to fire at these dismounted Arthedain Knights, but I believe that Arcturus either does notice it in time or the ballista just narrowly misses, because I am pretty positive that it doesn't actually kill anything. Well, any of those Arthedain Knights, that is. You can see that there are still 5 of my Battle-Ready Dunedain right there. Ooh, come on. They're about to fire. Oh, that's too bad, because that would have taken out probably like 6 or 7 right there just on that one volley. Or on that one bolt. I don't know what that's called. Missile? A big arrow. That's what it is. Anyway, we'll look down here again, see if anything has changed. Nope, Isengard's still just sitting here. And those dismounted Arthedain Knights are still just sitting there as well. If Dark Elven King pushes forward his gatekeepers, he could probably get a volley off. But the only thing is, if he tries to, the dismounted Arthedain Knights might just be close enough that they'll be able to at least get a charge off on those gatekeepers, which of course would not be good at all. Oh, again, just barely missing. Hitting right into that mountain. Okay, yeah, so he is pushing forward his 4 shell captains to kind of stop those Arthedain Knights in case they try to go after these gatekeepers, which will allow his gatekeepers to fire at least 1 volley off on those dismounted Arthedain Knights, who you can see Arcturus is trying to retreat, but because they won't be able to retreat, like, say, all the way up here, they are going to be subjected to another couple of brutal volleys. Here, I'll speed this up because there's really nothing to be said that's going to go on here. I mean, it's just going to be cat and mouse back and forth, essentially. Okay, there we go. Now we got some crossbow fire. Taking out... Okay, yeah. A lot of crossbow fire, actually, taking out a lot of those dismounted Arthedain Knights. Okay, so Arcturus realizes that he can't escape those crossbow volleys, so he's just going to try his best to just push through and try to deal with us, and then I guess try to just make a last stand against Isengard. See, I'm charging my Battle-Ready Dunedain in right here just to try to buy some time for those gatekeepers to fire another volley, which does work. You can see those those gatekeepers of Dark Elven Kings were definitely the MVP of this battle so far. But again, it can still go either way. I mean, Isengard still has a lot left. I mean, Arnor only has 36 of these dismounted Arthedain Knights left, but Isengard still has a good portion of his troops left. Well, not a good portion, but you know, he has. In terms of what everyone has left, he definitely still has a good portion of his troops. Those 4 Trail captains are really doing work against these dismounted Arthedain Knights, surprisingly, who are actually shaken. And the 4 Trail gatekeepers are still firing at these dismounted Arthedain Knights. I will actually, yeah, you can see my own 4 Trail captains going in to help out the Dark Elven Kings. Oh, another good volley right there. Oh, ah. Yeah, the 4 Trail captains are actually a very, very good unit. I was surprised. In terms of most elites, just overall for all the units, they really don't have the greatest stats. But they can actually do work. They're actually a very, very effective unit. And they're actually not too expensive either. So yeah, the only general on the field at the moment actually is mine. Yeah, because Dark Elven King's general is dead, and of course Arnor's general is dead, and Isengard's general was taken out by a crossbow bolt. Or an arrow, I don't know. Okay, and then there were 2. So I'm just going to speed this up a bit because essentially we were just trash talking each other and stuff this whole time, trying to get each other to attack. So we are going to attack each other eventually. It's just going to take a little bit of time, so I'm just going to speed 6 this until that time. Okay, you can see that he is pushing forward his troops now, and Dark Elven King is pushing down his, and I actually am going to push mine down as well. I just didn't realize that Dark Elven King had already pushed down his troops. Because we were just trash talking each other so much, I just was watching YouTube a little bit. Not gonna lie. Ooh, more volleys right there from the gatekeepers. Oh. Okay, yeah, now the gatekeepers are actually out of ammo. Maybe not? Yes, they are out of ammo, I think. And the ballista is still firing at those Isengard forces. So he is again going to retreat them behind the mountain, which will again lead to more trash talking and deal making and so forth. Like, oh, like, how about you don't use your ballista? How about you come down to this green part right here? You know, just things like that. Hmm. 56 infantry, 53 pikemen, 88 infantry. So that unit of infantry actually was at 110 before this, but because of that ballista and the crossbow fire, they're actually down to 88 now, which was definitely nice. So go ahead and put that in the comments who you think is going to win, Eriador or Isengard at this point, you know, because they are, of course, the only 2 factions left. So just go ahead and put down who you think is going to win. Okay, so now I believe is, yeah, this is the final fight. What's left of Isengard is going to fight against what is left of Eriador. You can see some 4 Trail captains, some gatekeepers, and the ballista. Ooh, so yeah, they're for 16,300 troops. There are definitely not that many left alive at the end. I can tell you that much. Let's watch these 4 Trail captains get a nice charge straight off into these Uruk-hai infantry, as well as the gatekeepers. So we'll watch a little bit of this fight, and then I think we'll just go ahead and speed it up. Yeah, this was definitely a very fun battle to play. I can't say that I've played too many battles that had over 16,000 troops in the field. It's very fun to play in huge settings, but of course not a lot of people like to, because their computers will lag and stuff. Also, not to mention the fact that just the internet, you know, might not be that good. So like if it's on huge, the lag of the huge setting and then the lag of the internet will combine for some pretty nasty effects, to be sure. Let's see here, what's going on? So there are 26 Uruk-hai pikemen, 63 Uruk-hai infantry, 53 pikemen, and where's the other unit of infantry? And those Urkai infantry are really getting butchered by those 4HL captains and 4HL gatekeepers. Oh, I still have one battle ready Dunedain as well. I did not realize that. The Ballista is trying to get into position, I think. But I believe because our own forces are a little bit too close, it's not going to actually be able to fire. So let's see here. 37 Urkai infantry, 48 Urkai pikemen, 22 Urkai pikemen, and 49 Urkai infantry. Yeah, 35 and then 49 Urkai infantry. Okay. So I think I will go ahead and speed up this just a little bit, maybe 2 times. Ooh, yeah, this is really coming down to the wire. It's really close. I'm thinking I may have to try to find a new rendering software. I currently use HitFilm 4 Express to edit and render, then OBS to record, but for some reason the rendering looks a little bit weird. Like every time I move the camera, it gets a little bit fuzzy and then it refocuses. Like once I rewatch the YouTube video after it's been rendered. I don't know if you've ever heard of anything like that. So if you do have a solution, I'd be grateful for an answer. But yeah, that's not what we're here for. We're here to watch these epic battles. I must say, Eriador is fun to play as. They have a lot of spears. Not gonna lie. I do wish that you could bring like maybe 3 or 4 units of the 4HL heavy swords or 4HL heavy spears before the price increased, but yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much the only thing I don't like about Eriador. Still got one battle ready to Dunedain. I believe he was over there. I don't know how he got all the way over here, but okay. You can see the Isengard forces are heavily reduced. 13 Urkai infantry, 30 pikemen, 29. Oh yeah. And 12 pikemen. No, 12 infantry. 11, 10, 8. Oh, you can actually see my general over here, the last general in the field. Ooh, he's getting piked. I don't know. Is he gonna live? He's getting piked. Oh no. Oh, that 4HL captain just saved his life. Oh, my general got a kill. And yes, that is pretty much going to wrap up this battle. I'll speed it up to 6 times now. And that is how it ends. It was an incredibly close battle. The Eriador Alliance actually won, even though we were getting sandwiched by pretty much all 4 armies. Dark Elven King definitely getting the very well deserved most kills, getting 4,116 kills. I got 3,266 kills. And then Arcturus and Stewed Fungus did the best in kills for the other teams. General WVPM and Bobo 16K did not do bad either. So we'll take a quick look at the exact casualties. My captains got 316 kills. My gatekeepers got 702 and 760. My bandit javelins each getting over 200. 4HL heavy swords not doing too bad. And Catapult got 70 kills, but then again it wasn't taken out pretty much right away by those Woodland Realms archers. Battle Runny Dunedain each got 134. I was kind of surprised by that. Look at this. Dark Elven King's 4HL captains got 446 kills, and his gatekeepers, one unit of gatekeepers, almost got 1,000 kills. The other one got 736. His archers also did very well. And his Battle Runny Dunedain did not do bad either. Oh, we actually brought 3 units of 4HL heavy spearmen. He must have taken that price increase instead. But anyway, yeah, it was definitely a very fun battle. So there were 16,300 troops on the field. At the end of the day, there were only 112 still alive. It's really not 400. That includes the casualties that were healed. The units that were actually still standing, like the 4HL captains and the 4HL gatekeepers, there were only 112 of them. So yeah, it was a super fun battle. So anyway, if you enjoyed it, please comment, like, and subscribe. If you didn't, Just tell me what I did wrong, and I'll be sure to try and fix it for the next one. So farewell wherever you fare, till your eyries receive you at your journey's end.